this morning. Can't be denied. FedEx arrived. A skip arrived. I was my usual 10 minutes late anyway. Add all those things together and you've just got chaos. Right, let's get the table up. Actually, I don't know if I want the table up. Anyway, we're getting the table up. Come in and say good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Right. Oh, hang on. We need the blind down. We know that. Too bright. I should move where I'm streaming from, really, shouldn't I? That would be sensible. But hey. Okay. I'd love to say I'm here, prepared and ready, but that would be a total lie. So the first thing you're going to have to do is we're going to have to put a bit of makeup, girls. Got lippy on, but I haven't got eyeliner on yet, or mascara. So I thought, well, I'll just bring that down and use the screen. So hello, everybody. Total bloody chaos. Absolute chaos. What would we expect? Right, so we've got everything here from good old Bobbi Brown. So we'll just put a bit of that there. Oh, this is dodgy. This isn't quite as easy as the mirror, got to be said. Have I hit my eye? I think I've hit my eye. For anybody that doesn't know me and coming in, this isn't a makeup. This isn't a makeup stream. I'm not one of those people doing amazing things with makeup where I start off looking an old dog and end up looking about 21 and gorgeous. I'm pretty much going to stay the same. Morning, Jill. Morning, Sheena. This is just because I didn't get the chance. Because just the... Hi, Beth. Hi, Fee. Ah, right. Just get that slapped in there. There, look at the depth and definition there, girls. You learnt it all here. Right, put those up there. Bit of mascara and we're good to go. Hi, Anne. And an Anne, 2 Annes, probably a third Anne coming, with a bit of luck. Right, oh, okay, there we go, there we go. It's not everywhere that you get these kind of extra bonuses, you know. Morning, Zoe. Forever in my mind, Zoe at Thimblestitch, a lovely patchwork quilting shop. And stitching and embroidery down in Devon. Whew, 4:30 a.m. Wow. I am impressed. Meep, hello. How lovely to see you. Deirdre, Jill. Right, that's it. Okay, whew, I need a door open. I'm absolutely boiled. So I'll sort that and then we're good to go. And then we're good to go. Oh. Yes, Miley, you can dash in and out now. You can. Oh, hang on. I've got my trousers on inside out, but never mind. That doesn't matter, does it? We're not focusing on that this morning. Oh, how lovely to see you. Yes, hope Bonnie's going to turn up. Yes, you can all say hello to each other. Hang on, I just need to fan myself. That's been far too much of a rush down the stairs. Oh. I need caffeine. Stephen's making me a cup of coffee. He's been out filling the skip. Okay, wow, look at this lovely lot. Oh, I tell you what I can do. Just chat to yourselves, tell people there. I just need to go and find some wadding and felt. I haven't decided actually what I'm going to do yet. Why would I have done? You've done it in there. Could you get me a felt?
What's a 1 metre pack?
Yeah. Okay. And last request of the morning. Gotta have some cocoa. Thank you.
Well, come on.
Right.
Hermes.
Is that Hermes as well? God, blimey. I was opening. Have they been yet?
No, that's from sure.
Oh, just so hot. Can you not leave it open? And if I see them at the gate, I'll shut it. I'm absolutely boiled. Sorry, just domestic here on whether the door can stay open or not. Trouble with the door open is, bit of an aside, Milo can go out through the door and attack the Hermes man as he collects the parcels. So, but we'll keep an eye out for that, won't we? We just need the air. Right. Just going to take 10 seconds, get my breath back. Ah, what a morning. What a morning. Right. Okay. So, chaps, this is an interesting pile for starters. This is I'd like to say, and I wish it was true in some ways, that I've pre-planned all this and I know what I'm doing. I kind of had in my mind that I might have done that, but I didn't. The only bit I've got as far as planning was that I don't think I'm going to piece my piece. So we will work on that basis. I'm almost certainly going to stick mine down. Oh, does he? Blimey, he's very Geordie, actually, Andy. He's definitely not very Welsh. But maybe he's picking up the old accent. Oh, I've got 1.5. That'll do. Right, that's that sorted out. Okay, so put those away for a minute. We'll look at those in a minute. Let's just have a quick gloat over the fabrics. So they're all here. They sound crinkly because I've backed them all in heat and bond, so they're ready to go. I thought about it and I thought I could sit in peace, but then I thought, well, if I'm being honest, I don't particularly like it. It wasn't part of patchwork. I can enjoy it if I'm in the really right mood. What I prefer doing is putting the blocks and things together with a triple stitch, which I'll show you later. So for me, an easier and much more spontaneous way to create is sticking it down. I think one of the problems with piecing for me is you have to have a plan. You can go in and sort of free piece, but you have to have some idea of what you're doing. Whereas like this, I can just make it up as I go along. So these are all my lovely fabrics, really, really pleased with them. A quick word, because I saw somebody somewhere, I'll find the comment. It is a throw for Milo. Don't worry, this isn't going to be a wall piece. This will still be a piece of domestic furnishings. It's going to be a throw. But I'm going to make it with heat and bond rather than piece it. So, and I think one of the reasons I decided it as well was Alison's there. Did I see Alison Cossins? Hi, Alison Cossins. I missed it. Alison, can you speak now? I managed to ban comments from over 100 people. So if you were one of them, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to. It was all a bit of an accident. I was only aiming for one person. And with my usual, with my usual level of competence, just managed to turn off, hundreds. Well, there you go. So if you were one of them, very sorry, but it's back on now. Time it got to Norfolk, he didn't move more North Country. Yeah, it is North Country. Very North Country. Hi, Judith. Hi, Dorothy. So, I think, you see, I thought, well, I want to make a throw, I'll have to piece it. And then I think, no, that's just the patchwork quilting wisdom. Heat and bond is actually made for making furnishings. So we will be fine. So the first thing I've done is I've backed all my fabrics in heat and bond. I've used heat and bond light. You could use bond to web, use whatever. In different countries you'll have things like steamer seam, and use whatever you like as a heat adhesive. So this is just an adhesive that irons onto the back of the fabric. And when you peel off its released paper, all you have to do with this, put it down. Heat and bond has a very shiny look, which I quite like because it means I can see it's there. Is basically put that down onto my wadding or felt or backing and iron it. So I'm still going to make, hi Anne-Marie. Oh good, you're all finding the right place, despite the fact that I also managed to put the wrong Facebook page on my post. Having finally got everybody to realise that it's over here we have the streams, I then put up the other page. But there we go. One does one's best. That's all you can do. So I've got my fabrics and I've got some, they're beautiful. I was so pleased with them. Now, some of the paint, let me show you on one like this. Some of this paint And it's where I only had quite a light coat. You can see it's where I had blodgy prints. I don't know whether it's a blodgy print or it's knocked back a bit. Now, some of that will be my printing. Some may well be because I didn't heat fix this terribly well. But it really doesn't matter. I'm still perfectly happy with that piece of fabric. And what's been exciting, just let me show you a few exciting things before we get cracking. Is that the same one? That's a different one. Is how, where I tore a lot of the fabrics in half, if you remember, so I could do halfy over dyes. Where the two halves, I can't find the other half of this now, there it is. Is that it? You see, they look so different, I can't even tell. That is it. That is the other half of that one. And it's just the difference that the over dye makes, but you get these fabrics that look so beautiful together because they're the same print, but different dyes over the top. So I'm really pleased with these. I think one of the Anne Simpson, I think, had put up that she put it through a very hot and long wash. Now, if you've done that and lost all your dye, you shouldn't lose all your dye. I mean, I put mine through a 30-degree, and I'm really lucky there's a 15-minute wash cycle on my washing machine. A lot of machines have them. They call them the, I can't remember what they call them. I saw it on the washing machine about 5 minutes ago. But there's often quite a quick cycle on modern washing machines, so you can use that. You could wash by hand. I've washed in the machine on the basis that this throw that I'm going to make is going to get washed a lot, and therefore I'm never going to keep washing it all by hand. But I did have it on a low temperature, and I'd rinse the cloths out first. And the paint really should withstand up to 40 degrees. If it didn't, Anne, and you said your stencils had all broken down and disappeared, two things. One, did you leave the paint to cure for 24 hours first? And B, if you're going to wash it hot like that, you really do need to heat set very efficiently, which would be 5 minutes on all areas of each piece of cloth. But having done it, and I've done it myself, and I suspect most of us have done it, you've either washed and lost all the dye or you've washed and lost all the paint. Just get out your stencils and your paint and reprint. That's what I would do. So if, I had a cloth where I thought, oh no, this has just disappeared too much, I would just reprint again on the top. And ditto if one comes out and you think, oh, I don't really like that. Just reprint on the top again, re-dye. Now remember, if you're re-dyeing, your dyes, right, let's talk more slowly here. If you're going to repaint, you can put any colour you want on. The paints are opaque and they will just sit on top. So if I want to put red or orange on here, I could do, and it would show. Different with the dyes are transparent. Oh, crikey. Oh dear. Let me move that. Get that up there. With the dyes, you've got transparency. So if I add more dye to these, let's go on to this one because this is a paler one. This colour in the background will affect the over dye. So in the background here, I've got a very pale sort of beigey mocha colour. That will influence any of the dye I put over it. It's got an orangey brown background to it. So if I put reds and oranges over there, they're probably going to be fine in terms of dye. If I put blues and greens over, they're going to get browned off a little bit because you're on opposite sides of the colour wheel. So just be aware, when you're dyeing, you've got transparency. When you've got paint, you've got opacity. If you manage to wash it too hot too soon without fixing and wash everything out, don't worry, just start again. And I thought we'd do one stream actually using A, bits of fabric that we've basically buggered up, and B, commercial fabrics, because if you haven't got white fabric, or if you've got commercial fabrics that are a bit boring, that you don't like very much, we can do lots with those with a bit of paint and stenciling or stamping. So we'll do that in another stream. Right, back to this one now. So I've got my fabrics. I've chosen that I'm going to heat adhere all of these, but you can easily, I think that's Kit replying to Kit, are you stuck at home alone? Aren't you clever knowing all that? Oh me, I'm so clever, Janice. I'm so clever. I've learned it all the hard way by doing it all wrong. Best way to learn. Hi, Jane. So this way, I am going to adhere this down. You, if you love piecing, and I know lots of you do, you know, you go for it and you piece your fabrics into any quilt pattern you want. So the first thing I need to decide is what I'm going to work on. Now, I haven't used wadding for a long time. Wadding, batting in America. I've used felt for my wall hangings, and I don't know whether to use, I mean, these are the sort of waddings I've got. So I've got, I would have to piece this together, so that to my mind, complicated, can't be bothered. Right, this was the wadding I used to use the most. I think this is, see, I don't even know what they are. I think this might be, is it? Oh no, no, it's not. That is. This is the, this one. I've even got the name in it. It's a cotton one from the Cotton Patch. Soy blend, 50% soy, 50% organic cotton. So this was when I used to use wadding, the wadding that I would use. I've got a reasonable sized piece of that. I mean, it's not quite as big as I wanted to make, I don't think. I would rather that was squared off. It is nice though, it's very soft. It's very fine, it's still very lightweight. I certainly could use that. And that would make a throw this size, which is, let's get a tape measure out and see what that is. One of the reasons I'm working like this and not having it pre-planned is because this is how I work now. And I think it's really good to realise that you don't have to have a plan. You don't have to have a pattern or a magazine or a book telling you what to do. We're intelligent women and men. We can work this out for ourselves. You just need a small amount of know-how and lots of bravery. So let me find a tape measure. I can see one over here. Typical of me to want wadding at the one time when you can't get it. I'll get the paint bottles off the table as well. So that is, I reckon it's about 48 this way. It's 40 that way. And it's 29-30 that way. So it would be a 40 by 30 throw, which would work. You know, I can see that sitting over the back of the settee. You know, it could sit like that. So that's one option. This, I'm not sure what it is. It feels a bit like it might be gluey, but it is incredibly fine wadding, really fine wadding. Scarcely anything thicker than felt, if at all. What sort of size have I got of this? Now this one I can get a big square out of that one. I might try, I'm just not sure what that is. It's got a oh, we blurred. Turn off and turn on again if you're blurred. That's the best advice I can give you. That feels like it might be an adhering one. We'll try it with the iron. Put that behind me. Put that behind me. Oh, well, that's a gorgeous bit of stuff. That's beautiful. I don't know what that is, but that feels like wool and silk. That's a blanket. I think I've had that from embroidery. This one I've obviously used in an emergency as a bit of a drop cloth, but that doesn't matter. And this is another very, I think this may be something like the one that you get for oven gloves and things. I think this could be the heat one, but that again is quite a nice, it's quite a nice size. And actually that's quite a nice heft on it. That's quite nice, that. They don't come with paint and dye on them. That's just me. My only worry with it would be if I washed it, will that come out? But my guess is I already have washed it. It's got a few bits and bobs on, but none of that matters. So I could use that, and that is actually quite a nice weight for a throw. And then this one, which is another all cotton one, but this is a black one, and I'm going to disregard that one because I don't think black wadding's right for this because I'm using fairly bright colours. So we'll disregard the black. So I'm down to, and I've got my own, I've got felt as well, and I could use felt. Felt would make it perfectly nice. It's just quite a good chance to use some of these. I think I've used that as a drop cloth, you know, underneath. I think it is one of those heat ones. I feel as though I'd rather use something where I know what it is. You know, I'm going to make this up as I go along, but I think it'd be quite useful to actually know what I'm using. So I'm tempted. This feels the nicest, but it's not very big. Is that big enough for a throw? It is really, isn't it? 40 by 30. The trouble is I won't have, it would have to be like 36, 3 foot by 3 by 2. No, not big enough. Not big enough. So we're down to, and how big is my felt? All viscose felt. See, this stuff, the nice stuff about it is so stable. I just know it's a bit of an expensive way of making a throw, but on the other hand, as soon as I feel it, I think, oh, safety, safety, safety. Right, so let's measure this up. It should be, and what's he given me? Has he given me, oh, he's given me a 1/2 metre. 36 wide by, so this is going to be about 36 by 36. I thought he was going to give me B. Right, I think we're going to dictate our size by the piece of wadding, and that's as good a way to make a decision as anything else, I think. Hi, Sue! Looks big. I think we don't have to go absolutely mad, do we? So, let's measure this up. It's 38, and there'll be 38. So I'm going to cut a 38 by 38. So that'll be a 36 by 36 inch piece, and I'm going to cut that into pieces. So let's just, the easiest way to cut a square is, should we take the paint bottles off the table? And give me a little bit more space. I so nearly, well, I did do tidying up yesterday. I just then did some more work and messed it up again. Right, so the easiest way to get a square is to fold 2 corners, like that. So I love demonstrating things that don't work. Right, so what I want is, why won't that work? So if we do that to that, we should then have a slice to take off. Yeah, and we have. So let's get that slice off. And that's going to give me a square. And another reason, you know, this also should encourage you that things don't have to be mindlessly accurate just because I'm going to do patchwork. I can be accurate when I want to be, but I prefer not being. And this just takes all the stress out of it for me, because I know that basically I'm going to bodge my way through this. It's going to look gorgeous at the end, and I'll sort it all out as I go along. And really learning to do that has been one of the best things for me. Instead of feeling that I had to have instructions and I had to know what I was doing, I just think, oh, come on, it can't be that hard. Now, what I do need to find now, there we are, is scissors. I don't know how sharp these will be. Oh, they're pretty good. That was lucky. So I'm just getting this off to a square, and then the way I'm going to construct this is I'm going to make it in smaller segments so that I don't have to put the whole thing under my sewing machine until very nearly at the end. So not that this is super huge, but it's big enough that it'll be a hassle to me. Now I said I'd make this in 4 pieces, but then I was thinking of 48 by 48. I wonder whether to make it 4 pieces. Each one's going to be quite small, isn't it? Too small. Let's make it in 3. So I'm going to cut this into 3 each way, which will give me squares. Now I could be doing this on a cutting mat. I have got one, but I actually think measuring like this is as good as any other way, because I'm going to trim these when I've finished. So I'm going to fold this to thirds, which is pretty easy. You fold one over, you make a guess, you fold the other one over, you see if you've got it right. Oh, bingo, bingo, pretty damn nearly. And one of the things you'll find is that you get better at guessing as well. If you do lots of guessing, you get better and better at guessing. So that's into thirds, and then I'm just going to take my scissors. You see how random this is? For all of you that are beautiful pieces and really accurate workers, I'll have to show you some accurate work I've done sometime, just to prove I can. This may look horrific, but for me, this is so much more relaxing. And as we're here, shut up, worried, very, very peculiar times, relaxing and enjoying ourselves is definitely the order of the day. So do whatever suits you here. If you love piecing, piece it. Me, Ah, yes, Mess and Tits TV. Well, wait till we get into the summer. You know, if we're still here in the summer, I'll be getting my Mess and Tits my Mess and Tits kit on, so that I know I've got quite a high neck on it. It'd be quite hard. There we are. There we are. Full on cleavage. There we are. Whoever it was, there's your moment. Please send me a message telling me what you think about it. So yeah, working like this is more relaxing for me. Do what you love. You know, if your idea of heaven is putting on the radio or some nice music or Audible and sitting down and piecing up beautiful fabrics that you've made, go for it. Go for it. Many, many happy hours there. My idea of heaven is stitching them, but not together. And this allows lots of space for it all to go wrong. And as you are saying, Sharon, it means I can change my mind about designs as I go along. I still don't actually know, and I really genuinely still don't actually know what pattern I'm going to make yet. I haven't started worrying too much. I've had thoughts, but I'm not troubling myself too much. Now, hopefully this will go into sort of squares. It should do. It should do. That's not quite accurate. Let's get it so it is. No. Oh, I did so well. I mean, let's try. Let's just see if by doing that, which gets me that position, it's turning it there. Does that actually get me? Should get me 3 squares, shouldn't it? Logically. Oh, it does. Sorry. That's me feeling exceptionally happy. If I re-dye some fabric, yes, you do. You need more soda ash. If once you've rinsed it, that soda ash has gone. So you need to soak in soda again. So just wallop it in for 15 minutes in your soda soaking solution, and then good to go. And you can see already, I've got a bit of a shaggy edge down there. That is not me. That is the person cutting the felt, which I believe on. Oh, actually, it might have been me. Anyway, never mind. Doesn't matter, because I know I'm going to trim them. I know I'm going to trim them. I'm not aiming for a specific size. You see, the trouble is, if I was doing this pieced with slashing and things, there would be measurements that I had to hit. This way, there's no measurements I have to hit. All I have to do is make these, and then I can decide what size I'm going to trim them all to, if that makes sense. So let's do that again. So I'm getting myself 9 pieces, which are going to be about 12 inches. They're going to be about 12 inches square when they're finished. They're probably, hopefully, they should be just ever so slightly over. That's just not quite. That's better. And I could measure these. I could get it on a cutting mat, measure, use a rotary cutter. The only reason I'm not is the rotary cutter's over there, and so is the cutting mat. And I've got a pair of scissors in my hand. Such are the ways that I make decisions these days. And also I was thinking I might end up putting an applique on the top of it. It's something I love to do, and did quite often when I made more traditional stuff, is I would make a base and then applique. So I might do that. That's also on the cards. We'll just wait and see, hey? So we'll just cut this up once more. I might wash that other big piece of wadding, you know, so that I can see what it was, because it is quite big. I'm remembering what I used it for. It was, when I was first mixing all the dyes, and I had it on the table, dampened to catch any airborne dye. I haven't used it for ages because Stephen's been mixing the dyes more recently, but that's what it was for. So I think actually putting it in something at the moment I feel would be risky, because I don't know how well I've washed it. So there could be loose dye in there which could come out, which would be a bit upsetting. But I am going to wash it, and then it would be useful, because it's another nice bit. I could make a bigger something out of that, and you know, feeling quite excited about all this at the moment. So what size are these? Are they anything like 12 inches square, I wonder? I mean, they look at it, don't they? Is that all 3? Wow, that was quick, wasn't it? You see, how fast was that? How fast was that? Okay. Let's just see what size they are. Anybody see what I did with the tape measure? No. I reckon they'll be just over 12. 12 and a midge's dick. 12 and a half. Perfect. Okay. So we've got these. Now at this point I need to start thinking, what do I want to do? Now the way I would think, I like to, I was going to get a piece of paper, because what I like to do is I like to think with a pencil. That's the best way to think, I think. Find some cartridge paper. Come on, cartridge paper. There's loads of it around. Oh, you know what happens here? There's been tidying up done. Yeah, think with a pencil. It's always a good way of thinking. So, I can do anything. That's the joy of this. You know, if I wanted to, I could make blocks that went like that, because I'm just sticking it all down. I'm not going to do a block like that, but it's quite groovy, isn't it? So I'm sort of thinking I'm going to have 9 patches. That's what I'm going to end up with. And in my mind, to be honest with you, is still, as it was last week. Oh, do they? They are squares. That's just screen distortion then. They are squares. Those are definitely squares, girls. They're just over 12. They'll be trimmed to 12-inch squares. So, hang on, let me tip you all down a bit. I want to get a balance. Yeah, I love applique too. Between me being able to read your comments and you seeing what's going on. So, last time I was talking about just making strips, and I'm still thinking that, you know, it's one of my favourite. It's so simple, it's going to be so quick, and I absolutely love it. And it's a lovely basis for, you know, let's say I decided I wanted to put, well, in the sitting room on the curtains, there's like a willow pattern. So let's say I decided I wanted to put a willow applique over the top of there. You know, it's going to work on something like that, because it's going to look as if it's on some sort of trellis. So it is such a nice design. And the other thing I could do that's also in my mind is, once I've made them, I could cut them in half. So one block I could cut through there, and I could then turn them so that each block has half of its own colour and half of the colours from another one, which would make another thing. And I could even cut those again and turn those, or I could cut all 4 and make squares, or I could cut, I could cut that way. I could cut them all that way, put them back together again. I'm not sure what that would make. I can't work it out. I kind of like the idea. One of my favourite blocks is rail fence, which does that. Let's do it in a square. Thinking with a pencil is so useful. You know, it's only a piece of paper, and actually I could rub it all out and reuse it. It just allows me to sort of think what I want to do. That's a sort of, and it's very approximate, but basically a rail fence block. I actually think it has another stripe over here, and it may not have 3 down there, but anyway, it's sort of that kind of layout. And I do like that block. If you turn it as you piece up, you get a really nice pattern. And I'm wondering if, because that looks like stripes, doesn't it? Is there some way, if I make these, you see, I could make each one, but if I make each one like that, I can't really cut those then, can I? Because if I cut them through there, that would be a bit peculiar. I think, you know, I keep coming back. My other favourite is log cabin, and just starting and putting strips round. Let's try and do it right, shall we? It's one of my favourites. Always looks nice. You know, that would look nice too. And I think I could make it, I could do a log cabin. I like them off centre, so I could start it there. And then you get a nice, quirky, unbalanced log. And an illogical, that could look nice too. No, I'm going to do strips. I'm going to keep this as simple as I know how. I'm going to do strips. So, what I think will be an exceptionally easy way to do these is, for each little piece that I want to do, I'm going to choose, if I'm going to do, let's say I'm going to do, what was I drawing on there? I think 4 strips across, wasn't I? 4 3 inches, because I want to keep enough for some of these lovely patterns to show. I don't want to get them too tiny. Good Good point. Shoe pattern. Yes, well, Milo, he's busy. I'm sorry, he's up on duty. He's not with me here. He can't be. He's out the window. He's out the window. Milo, by the way, now has his own Instagram page, encouraged by a friend. So he now has his own Instagram page, which I need you to go and like and follow him, so that he feels it's, you know, that he's being fully appreciated for all the amazing work he's doing during this time of international crisis, because he's feeling the pressure. He is feeling the pressure. Yesterday he ended up with his head in his emptied his toy box all over the floor and just stuck his head in it. You know, that's the kind of level of desperation he'd reached. So if we're going to have 4 strips across, is that what I said? So I want 4 fabrics for each block. And I think I'm just going to choose them pretty randomly. So 1, 2, and a green. What I might do with the greens, because I want the green to be a much smaller element. That's quite a gentle one. That isn't. These bright ones, I might just cut those into very much smaller strips and add those in. And that is the joy of sticking it all down. I can make these kind of impulsive decisions en route, which I like. So there's one. I don't want full size of that. That's fine. That's blue though, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3. Have I got enough to do? I've got loads, haven't I? Let's be honest. Let's be honest, I'm not short of fabrics here. I want one that's got, right, stop fussing and just put them together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. That's 2 blues, isn't it? 2. That's a gentler green, I think. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, okay, and an extra. I'm not sure what the system is here, but anyway. I'm not sure what it is, but I like it. Let's just take out, so there's 2 blues, 2 beiges. I might take out 2 blues, 2 a beige and a green. That's very much a different gig. I might just put that in small strips. I might even keep those for sashing. I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, I've got piles of 4 fabrics now. So what I'm going to do is I love Milo too. He makes me smile. He's such a funny little dog. He is such a cute little dog. He's just, well, Dixter was as well. They just have their little idiosyncrasies, and he's so serious about it all up there. So I'm up on that settee. Don't interrupt me. I am busy watching the stuff going on out there. Right. So out of these, I am going to get my cutting mat now. This was a really useful cutting mat. It's a fold-up one, and it did have another bit, so it did A1. Unfortunately, one end fell off and I've lost it, but it's still pretty useful for this sort of thing because it stores easily, and I can get it out here. And oh God, I've just thought of something amazingly handy. And I swear to God I hadn't thought of this before. But this here square is 12.5 inches. It is the same size as those pieces of felt. So, slightly smaller, but that's fine. So what I'm planning to do, I know people like Jill, who are good piecers, and will definitely be piecing this, will be watching this and thinking, what is she doing? What is she going to do? What's she doing? What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to cut out 4 pieces this size. I'm getting it in from the edge a bit just to make sure that I don't stupidly. And each one of these is going to make 4 pieces, I think. Sashing, sorry, here I go, getting technical with my, oh, look at that, it's doing it again. Do you know, it's hormonal. Sashing, okay, on a quilt, often you'll make blocks. So let's say you made 3 4-inch blocks and you want to join them together. Often, so you'll piece those blocks in whatever your pattern, and to join them, often you'll use strips of plain or coloured or a different fabric between them to make the sashing. I'll find, for the next stream, I've got a couple of quilts I've made that would show you that. So it would be if I decided that when I joined these, I wanted a plain element in between, I might put sashing on, and also round the edges, although that's usually called binding, but they're all just words really. So let's get this cut. So I'm going through 4 pieces of fabric here, all on heat and bond back. So it's a fairly hefty cut, but it's going to be fine. Just line that back up again. And this is going to give me bits of fabric that are more or less the size. Yeah, turn that. You can see that's slipped there, so let's get them stacked back up. I'm trying to keep some longer strips at the end, at the edge, in case I need them for something. I'm also, those of you that are in my online classes will recognise what's happening here. I'm trying to be accurate, and it's all going a bit. It's all not quite planning out. I know what I should do. Too late now, but I should have just cut straight along there. Oh, what a wally-bat. Right, okay, let's do it again. Gina, are you turning in your grave watching this? Gina, another expert piecer, well, very, very well known and very good tutor too. I'm ashamed, really. Well, no, I'm not. Let's be honest, I'm not. We all know I'm not ashamed, but you know, when I think of who is actually, to my knowledge, watching me buzz around with this. Still, there you go. Right, so that's better. Easy to turn around now, isn't it? Can you see where we're going? So what we're going to do is cut 4 of these. And each one is going to be the size of this ruler, which handily is 12.5 inches, and I'm already not even. It's already gone wrong. Can't believe it. Oh, the whole mat will make a real mess. It'll just go everywhere. That piece at the top has gone right off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that and I'm going to do that other one again, because I've got that end wrong. So I'm going to leave a bit of space for adjustment there. Oops. That's a sharp cutter. I've just cut the edge off my ruler. You wouldn't believe it, but I have. It actually cut the ruler. Yes, Mummy, I'll turn the whole mat. Well, good idea. Well done, that Jill Lamming. Not bad at, whoops, not bad. Oh, flipping heck. Now my ruler's moved. I think, to be honest, this is why I'm sticking it down, because I know perfectly well. Oh, I've done it again. My ability to be accurate is about 0. I'll just trim this end that I know is badly wrong, and then I think that's not bad. Just let me say, in defence of myself here, if you look up the G-bend quilters, one of the things, yeah, no, it is square. It must be the way the camera's doing. This is square. It's 12.5 by 12.5, and so now I've got 4 squares. Now, to be honest with you, at its most simple, I mean, look. If I wanted to, there is no reason at all why I couldn't just cut 9 of those, quilt each one, stick them together, and I would have, crikey, that's tempting, isn't it? A beautiful throw with each square showing off my beautiful fabric beautifully. Look at that. Slip of coffee and has a think. What if I did each one with 2 strips and a big piece? Because these are gorgeous, aren't they? They do, imagine that. It'd be beautiful. And it's such a nice showcase of the fabrics. That's what I think. Stack them back up. Okay. What if with each one, I keep 1 piece quite big and 2 strips? That could look quite nice, couldn't it? Let's see what that looks like. I thought it did too, whoever that is. Janice, yes, I thought that looked really nice. There's another whole throw to be made. Oh, look, there's one I've cut wrong. There's another whole throw to be made. So I think what I'm going to do, don't need my ruler at this point. If I want it really straight, I could have my ruler, but do I want it really straight? Not really, not really. Now I've got choices here because I'm bonding. Well, in any way, I could do a curvy one. I could do angled. I want one quite big piece, so let's put that in. I'm going to need my ruler, you know, just to hold this down because they're all going to move otherwise, because this is quite a thick bundle I've got here. So let's get my ruler on. And the thing is, if I do it completely straight, the whole thing then needs to stay straight. But I should be able to do that. I should be able to do that. Do I want it straight? I don't want it straight in half. I know that. I want it off center. I think, let's try this. I'm doing 3, 4, 5, 6, doing 7 there and 2 strips. But if I do it like this, can I then, should we stop thinking and just get on with it? Always a mistake for me to start thinking. Now, at that point, okay, I've cut that into 2 uneven pieces. And I could, at this point, just think, okay, let's just put these together like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oh, sorry, 5, 6, 7, 8. How nice does that look? Doesn't that look nice? And that would be such a again, a really simple piecing. Oh, that's lovely. That is really nice, isn't it? Really like that. I think I'd move that to there. But you know, that's really pretty too. So it's now, do I want to cut this last strip into 2 to add that last bit of variation, or do I want to do it like this? Can you see the joys of creating without pre-planning? Because, and I think part of it is because I don't have a mathematical enough brain to actually think this through. I just get too confused. I can do sketches on a piece of paper and think it through like that. But basically, I'm very visual and I need to visually see things to plan. I think that looks so pretty, and again, it's showcasing the fabrics so beautifully. So it comes down to, do I cut this one in 2 as well, which will put a bit, go on, let's give it a go. Let's give it a try. And just talking about sashing, because we were, you know, if I decided to, I could then put sashing down the middle of these, but we'll come to that later. Let's just stack them again. It's actually these ones I want to stack and cut these once more and see how that looks. My brain barely works at all, Sharon. I have to see it. I see it and I think, oh, crikey, that's nice. Now, if I cut these exactly in half, then the strips will be interchangeable. If I cut them unevenly, which of course I'm always tempted to, then I'll have to have the strips in the right place. Does that make sense? If I cut them completely in half, then I'll have these 2 here, could be any of these strips. If I cut them sort of like that, then these 2 here have to be the right size in the right place. You see, I can't even talk in an organised way. Just listening to me trying to explain it's pathetic. Let's get those stacked up. And I could, you know, I've just had another thought. They're just flying now. You see, they're flying now. I could cut that into squares or oh. Do I want it in strips? Or what about in uneven squares? What if I cut it there? So that this had basically that's nice too, isn't it? That's going to make a much more blocky one. So when that's multiplied, that's going to make it more blocky. This, I'm going to go with my strippy. I'll stick with my strippy, but I've now got lots of ideas for the next throw. Not too busy. You're hopeful, Anne. Don't think I've ever done anything not too busy in my life. Right, where am I going to cut? I'm not going to cut it evenly because it'll just stress my head. So let's cut it unevenly but straight. There. Yep, decision made. Okay, so now I have 1, 2, and I need a different one. Now I can either go in, oh, well, that's nice, look. 1, 2, 3. See how they come off, let's put them out and then I can fiddle around with them. So we've got 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, and one of the wider ones. So, hang on. Oh, there we go. I was going to say there must be another wider one. Pale blue, like that. And then 1. Now, if I put all the strips coming in the middle, so if I put all the strippy bits here, I'm going to get a bit of a pattern going here. Aren't I? Now, I want, the wider one. Now, that's the same fabric as that, so I'm thinking, can I change that so that I haven't got the same two fabrics together? Because that is definitely the same as that. I can put that there, that's better. Then I've got different fabrics, and then this one here. Okay, and I'm going to move that because actually I'd rather have, no, hang on, let's just see, because that'll go there, but then that puts, this is probably difficult for you to actually see all of this, but what I'm looking at is that puts both the blues over here and both the beiges over there, and of course typically I don't like that. So let's put that there and change the middle strips, because I want blue, I'm going blue, beige, blue, blue, beige, blue, blue, beige, blue. Okay, that's nice, isn't it? That's going to look very pretty. So I'm going to have a quick look and just think if there's any other options I want to do this. So what I've done is I've got the strips in the middle. I've got all my strips with the thinner strip than the fatter strip. I could turn that round, but I quite like it like that. I prefer to have a fat, thin, fatter rather than fat, medium, small. It's just a less obvious run through. I like the strips. I like this bit in the middle. I like that I've got blue, blue there, beige, beige there, blue, blue, beige, beige. I'm liking that. Beige, beige, blue, blue. I'm happy to go. So I'm going to stack each of these up. And this is the bit I like. Now at this point, you could still go to your sewing machine, and I have a windmill in the middle. I have indeed. And I think that's going to look quite interesting when we put the next bits on. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You could take these off now if they weren't backed and just strip piece those together. That would be a very easy job. I think perhaps it's just the heating on makes me feel a bit braver. Now, I don't suppose anybody saw what I actually, oh, there we are. So let's plug in an iron. I was going to say I can see an iron cable, I can't see the iron. So plug in an iron. And let's see what we can do. I think the point is, don't be scared. You can work it all out. So what we're going to do with these, we know how this goes. It goes like that onto this square, and that fits pretty nicely. And I'm just going to iron them down. Now you do have to take the backing off. Off with the backing. And I already know I'm going to love this to pieces. Haven't put any of that limey green in yet, but I'm okay with that because I've got green coming in through the patterns, and I'm liking how this is going. Now I may use green for sashing. I may put strips of, I might put some small strips of green in later. We'll see. I really enjoy just working very spontaneously and seeing what comes. That's what makes me happy. Say to my students, I say it to you, particularly at the moment, do what makes you happy. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, seriously question why you're doing it. Unless somebody's paying you lots of money, and I mean lots of money, for doing something that makes you miserable, don't bother. God, I'm happy. I'm loving these streams every time. I'm just really happy. So I want those really nicely butted up together. And what I'm going to do when I stitch this, I'm trying to just centre them on this square a bit. When I stitch this, is I'm going to stitch along these lines to reinforce them. The heat and bond underneath will stop them fraying more or less, but bearing in mind how much laundering this will get, I'm going to stitch this quite heavily. So iron's hot, so I'm starting off and I'm just I'm going for where I can see those joins to make sure they're held nice and neatly. And I think for me as well, you get such flat seams like this. You get really flat seams. You know, there's none of that, you know, when you're turning seams out, one seam's not so bad, but you always get that. Well, you're bound to, aren't you? Where the turn is at the back. This way, you're going to get this beautifully flat. Oh my goodness me. I am very excited. I am very excited. Isn't that, I mean, just that is beautiful. If I took that just on an aside, and we may well do this, there's not going to, I hope lockdown goes on for a good long time, otherwise we're not going to have time to do all these things. But, you know, I could, this is 12 inches, isn't it? 12 and a half. You know, you could start, thanks, Janice. Yes, it's my usual felt. It's a wool viscose felt. I did have some waddings and battings, but I've decided on the felt. I could here start putting on, you know, other pieces and make, you know, so there, that's big enough, isn't it? I could just add a couple more pieces, and I've got a really nice cushion, and I kind of suspect this might well be happening. And then I could start appliquing on the top, but let's just stop getting overexcited for a second. I've gone all hot, gone all hot with excitement. I need my summer dresses on. I think it's time for the summer dresses. Trouble is, I'm very, very pale underneath. False tan time. God, I love false tan. I love false tan because I always get it wrong. That's what I like particularly about it, is I always get it uneven, and you know, there's never any case of you'd be wondering, because it always just goes wrong. Right, okay. So, lovingly, oh, I'm just loving them. Now, looking at that, I've put that dark, I like that. Do I, because the light piece here, let's just put them down and we can decide. I'm getting hot as well because the oven's on. No, not the oven. Not the oven, girls. Not the oven, the iron. I should stop saying girls, but I am kind of assuming that we're mostly female here. I may be wrong. There may be men, and if there are men, well, possibly they're here for the Mess and Tits TV, which comes later. It comes later, boys. We hold that one back. So what I'm thinking here is, okay, let's just get the papers off. So with these, you just get a corner and peel it back. And although this looks very plasticky, it stitches beautifully. It's a lovely heat adhesive, is Heat and Bond. I just love it. I mean, I do prefer it to Bondaweb. It doesn't, Bondaweb's great for painting and doing effects with, but I find Bondaweb tends to go off a bit. This doesn't. Right, okay. Now, what I'm thinking is, that's lovely, but would it be more exciting if I turned that round? I think it would, possibly, because then those two don't, I'm slitting my eyes here to see which pattern I like best, because then those two aren't so close in tone. No, I like it like that, actually. You see? You know, listen to the inner voice, you do know. I'm surprised I like it like that, but I do. My inner voice definitely said, as soon as I turned it back round, oh no, like that. So learn to listen to your own inner voice, nobody else's. Tell everybody else's inner voice to sod off. It's nothing to do with them, and listen to your own. Right, so I've got those again, really nicely butted up. And I'm just going to bop those edges. Are you still piecing, Jill? Or have I converted you over to the idea of sticking it all down? I know you love piecing, so probably still piecing. And this wouldn't be a hard work piece, you know, let's be honest. This would be a very quick piece, wouldn't it? Okay, so that's... Got my iron on very hot here. Just to make sure that's all bonded down. I want it all nicely stuck. So now I've got two. See, there's another thing. I could have all the strips around the edge and all the bits in the middle. Oh, God. It's going to be hard to decide. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. This is exciting. God, I love being excited. I just love making things. Don't you just love creating things? What's the long one? Hi, Joan. You see? I don't think I ever have either, Joan. This is new for me, but I was thinking about it and I was thinking, I don't know, I'm not going to enjoy the piecing part. Ah, okay. Fair enough. I do have some if you need some, Jill, by the way. I've got a bolt, so shout if you need some. I'll send you some. Right, okay. So, yeah, it just kind of, I thought, well, hang on, this is actually what heat and bond is designed for. You know, we use it for other things, but, you know, there's no reason not. I'm trying to think, have I ever stuck down a whole quilt before? No, I haven't. It's making me very happy, though, because this is going to work. I know this is going to work. And I've got an option here, when I sew these, to put, you know, some nice decorative stitches down this line as well, haven't I? And to add, actually, an element into this. Now, I know you could do that after piecing as well, because you would normally stitch in the ditch to hold it and just define it. Well, you could definitely put decorative stitching. That's kind of what I'm planning to do across those, just to make sure they're held nicely. Okay, this square is obviously slightly bigger, but that's okay, because we're going to trim them all. Right, so we've got that one. I'm very happy with that. Just checking, I've got large, thin, medium. Happy with the way round they are. Happy with all of that. So again, when I'm ironing, because it will creep even on this felt, if I just go like that, you probably can't see, but that's opened up 1 millimetre and that's going to annoy me. So I'm really holding those butted edges together and doing it quite carefully up there. And then the same here. A little bit here. Come on, you badger. That's it. And I even think, well, no, I won't think that at the moment. I'll think that at another time. I'll stop having thoughts that are confusing. Excellent, Lynn. It's just a different way, isn't it? And I think you choose the bits you like doing. You know, the bits that for me are exciting about this, obviously, printing and dyeing the fabric, very exciting. Seeing these patterns, it's why I love patchwork. Seeing these patterns start to form, that's very, very exciting. Putting decorative stitch on, that's really exciting. The bit that isn't so exciting for me is the piecing, and one of the reasons is I have to do it very slowly, otherwise it becomes inaccurate. And I'm fussy enough at the end to want this to actually line up. So this way works for me. Oh God, I'm so excited about these. These are going to, I mean, even, just look. Let's get, no, we need that one next. Imagine table runner. Or even runner for the settee, or runner to go over the arms. I mean, look, hang on, we've got to get, that's it, look, hang on, I'll do it like this. Can't get it big enough to show you, but look, table runner. Just knocked one up in 10 seconds flat there. Stick that together. I'll show you how to join the blocks. And this is going to be, God, I'm so excited. Right, there should be one more here, shouldn't there? This is exciting times. I feel as if, I'll just warn you, I'm definitely going to finish sticking these down now. But that is all I'm going to do on this stream. I'm going to stick them down. I won't start stitching them or anything else until Saturday. Well, I might at home, but I won't on stream. But I am excited enough to want to do all of these now and see them done. So I am going to carry on, and I might as well leave the camera on. There's no real point in turning it off while I'm carrying on. So if you want to stay and watch, you're more than welcome. But if you don't want, if you're time short or you've got to go, you won't miss anything, is what I'm saying, if you need to go now. But I am going to keep the camera on for this. Just checking that wasn't Mr. Hermes about to get eaten. There he is. There's Milo Beatty. He's on the job. Milo. Ruff. Here he comes. What's going on, Mike? He's got his face covered in leaves. Shut up. I'm under heavy cover. I'm in camo. It says he's in camouflage. Another bolt. I'll see if I can get one, Alison. I mean, Barn Yarns are delivering so far. That's where I get them from. So I'll see if I can, they might have them on Amazon, although Amazon, I mean, even Amazon aren't delivering quite a lot of non-essentials. But I have still got some Heat and Bond, and I'll see if I can get another bolt. Oh God, I'm loving this. This is just so gorgeous. And it's so unusual for me to be making something with fabric as well. You know, that's exciting. And something that's for my home. Something that's feeding into my womanly need to nurture and nest. I'm enjoying that too. Fair dues, Janice. If you need to go get a snack, go get a snack. Get me a snack as well while you're there, will you? In fact, get me a cup of tea. A cup of tea is what I could do with. A cup of tea is what I could do with. Bloody useless. It's going deaf. That's the trouble. He's getting old and deaf. You just can't get the young men in. Oh, hang on. There may have been. I may have hit a result there. Oh, fancy you coming down.
So you got coffee on?
Oh, tea please. Tea please. Look at these. Look.
Great, aren't
Look.
they? Oh, fantastic.
Aren't they going to be beautiful?
Yeah, they are. You can see that.
Fabulous.
Really good stuff, yeah.
Fabulous. Thanks, darling.
2 sugars or not?
Yeah, I will have sugar. I think that was near enthusiasm there. I mean, it wasn't masses enthusiasm, but it wasn't too bad. Oh, hi, Julianne. Liz, other possible would like bolts. Other people would like bolts here too. Oh, right, okay. I'll have a look through the comments. Oh, really? Bugger. Okay. I wonder if they've shut the trade bit. They probably have. Most of my wholesalers have shut. So I'm probably one of the last orders coming out. Okay, so I won't have bolts, but I will have meterage. Oh, shame. I was hoping. I've probably got an email then. I mean, Bonderweb would do. I mean, to be honest with you, if you didn't want to piece and you haven't got any of these, 505 spray, and do have a look, have a try on Amazon. That's the classic one, isn't it? Me, what are you doing that for? He knows. He does know what these are for. And he did manage to say, yes, very nice, you know. So, you know, we'll let him off at that. Right, so that's that for. Let's, oh, God. Set of 4 cushions there, straight away, or a table runner. Oh, God, I think I might become a home furnisher. I may become a home furnisher, not a home furnisher's son. I'm only furnishing homes till the home furnisher comes. And let's pop a pheasant in there as well, because I always think there should be the pheasant plucker in there, because that's the funny one, isn't it? That's the big jokey one. Right, so we've got 4 of those. Sideline those for the mo. Excuse me. Still coughing, and still, don't worry, still isolating, still not been anywhere. Right, okay, here we go. Next, oh, we haven't cut the next lot of 4. Oh, I was happily thinking I've cut them all. Right, okay. Let's get them cut. So we now know 3, 4. That's my next run of 4. I might as well cut these while I'm here. So 4, this is going to give me 8. I only actually need 9, don't I? So I'm going to have a couple of extras, but that's okay because I'm going to use those for other things. I'm not too worried about that. Or I could do 5 now. If I do 5 now, that would give me 5 pieces, and that's all I need. But then, well, dunno. I might make them all. Because, so if I make them all, I'm going to have 4, 8. Oh, 12. 16. 2 throws. Let's see. Let's see how we feel. Again, let's just go back to, let's stop trying to plan it. Turn that off for now. Stick it on the windowsill. Cutting mat on the floor. Okay. So the same thing again. I'm just going to put these for, they'd be less thick to cut through if I took the backing paper off. But they're not as easy to kind of handle with the backing paper off always. And also they can sometimes, when you push the ruler down, try to stick together. They will come back apart, but I just find it easier like this. Anybody seen the ruler? There's the rotary cutter. Anybody seen the ruler? It's big. Oh, there we are. I'm going to say I'll have had to sideline it somewhere. There we go. Oh, look at that little devil. Look at that, sneaking up there. That's the Rosa one. Well, oh, that's, oh, actually, I might have that on the top because that is only just wide enough. So that one, it's crucial that we keep it where we need it. Do be careful when you've got rotary cutters around that you don't slice your fingers up. Oh, even that one's even narrower. We've got some really narrow ones here. The back one's easy. It's these front boyos. Is there actually 12.5 on there? Just, whoa. Okay. Okay, let's go for that. I think that gets them all. Oh, thanks, darling. It's very kind, thank you. Turn the board. I always say that, turn the board. And always keep your rotary cutter sharp. Indulge yourself in some extra. Oh, I made a right old titty there. I need this piece of. It's gangling around on me, is that? A right old titty. I do apologise. Back to Mess and Tits TV again. Still think it's a disgrace that we're not called that. But anyway, moving on. Moving on, I have to move on. Right, let's get those back in line again. Anybody remember what? I need those bits off. I really cut those stupidly. And they're getting on my nerves. Anybody seen my scissors? Can't be far away, can they? I was cutting out of the beyond. Just quietly buried here. Spelt like that for those of us who get confused. All right, no idea what you're talking about, but Jill's on the case. Jill's in town. Not half missing Jill helping over here. It's just not the same. Things are not getting done in the same way at all. Right, okay. Hey Alison, I'm just thinking of you and your, you know, when we used to joke about you stockpiling for the Holocaust, that sort of things. I think that's really funny actually, because you foresaw coronavirus. Unbelievable. Oh God, that just fits. Okay, well that's okay. Just fits will do, won't it? Yeah, so keep a sharp blade in your rotary cutter. I think there's probably more accidents caused by non-sharp blades than sharps. You know, when you're hacking away with a non-sharp blade. Right, have I actually hit the edges on all those? Yay! Right, so do I want to do these the same as the others? I probably should do. So what size did I do that? Can anybody? I think it was 7 inches, the first one. It was, right. 7 inches. Oh, hang on. It's better. 7 inches. There we go. That's our first set of the nice big prints. Gorgeous. And then I won't have measured these, will I? I'll have just gone for it somewhere. Yeah, fabulous. Yes, okay. I suppose that's a sensible size, is it? That is, oh, it's 3. That is a sensible size. I must have lined up on some block. Right, 3. We can line up on 3. Is that right? Does that look right? Yeah. Does that look right? Does that look right for that one? Just check. No, that looks narrower, doesn't it? And yet that is 3. And that is 7. Hold hard. It is 3. Just cut. The ruler can't have changed size either. Whoops, hang on. No, where's 3? Is that 3 or is that 3? Hang on. What am I seeing on here? Right, 1, 2. It's on the actual 3 with a number line. Whatever that means. Whatever that line means. That is the line. That's the crucial one. Right, let's go for it. So it's a 3. This should be encouraging for all of you out there that feel intimidated by patchwork, that if I can work it out, sort of, you definitely can. Look how long it's taken me to work out that I need the number 3 on my ruler. Okay. So, same as we did with the others, I'm just going to lay these out so I can check how they're going to work. So we've got 1. Some lovely scraps over here. I see a scrappy piece making as well. Maybe a little collage for the wall with a cactus on. That could be nice. We know how much I love a cactus at the moment. So 1, and hang on, don't do that, Hilary, don't be silly. 1 and a medium piece, 2, excuse me, and a small piece. I have cut 5. I've cut 5. Have I cut 5? 4. No. Have I got a fat? Yes. Duh. Right. Which one should we have on there? Excuse me. I've got very itchy nose. Let's put green on there. Get that out of the way. Okay. Next one. We've got a blue. And we could have that small. We want them. Oh no. I wanted them small, didn't I? So that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Hang on. Go back. Right. What it would have been that, and that. And then that. Now, what do we put in the middle there? That. And a wide one of beige. Not sure how these are going to work. That's why I'm laying them out first. Green. Oh, that's gorgeous, isn't it? I love that. Love that flash of lightness in there. And then we want a small, probably not a green, so we'll have the green there. But then that puts both those greens down here, and I'm not liking that. I want one green in this quadrant, or I want the green in that quadrant. Right, let's change those. No, that's the wrong way around. Something odd there. I've got 2 mediums. Let's change those. Okay, I'm happy with that now. That's better. So I've got the green there, bit of green there. That's all right. And then that there. No. Oh, I've got myself confused completely. I've put 2 fats in there. That should be a thin in there. That's the fat there. But then that puts that next to that. Just hold on. We need a thin up there. It has to be that one, doesn't it? And now I need to bring this one over here, but then that's puts 2 blues over there. So I don't like that either. It's the confusion of the green here. I can see what's causing my confusion here. I can see it exactly. That should be that way, right? I keep getting things wrong. I want fat, thin, fat. Now that needs changing. You are witnessing a brain getting mixed up here. So I want fat, thin, that's fine. And then fat. That puts all of that up there, which I don't want to. So where's all my other, that should be another, oh God, right, okay. Fat, yeah, right, okay. The other options for thin would be, okay, fat. No, that doesn't help either. It puts 2 greens together. I don't like the 2 greens together. I've no doubt somebody somewhere is screaming. I wish I'd kept these in order because it worked really well when I kept them in order last time. But the 2 thin options are green Doesn't look too bad, that, actually. It's just a different spot and fat. And thin. And fat. And thin and fat. That's okay, actually. I'm happy enough with that. That's okay. Got a lot of green over there, but I can't see how to change that without... If I take that one out and change it... Well, I can actually. Now, I can't change it for that because that would match. The only one I can change it for really is that. Do I like that better? I don't like those two together. So, I could change, well, that puts two of the same there on that piece, but they are different lights. Can I change that? I don't like that. I want a contrast in the middle there. And I definitely can't do that, can I? I've got lost again, girls. Mixed myself up again. That's okay. Do you know, I'm going to do it because my brain's starting to hurt. I know, Jill, I know. Put them back in order and then it will work. You're right. I know that's what I should do. I do know that's what I should do. But they're okay like that, aren't they? They're okay like that. Let's go for it. Let's put them in piles and get them glued down. Exciting times. How am I doing? Not too bad, because I didn't really get going till basically 11:30 this morning. So actually, I've only been going for just over an hour. So I think that's not bad at all. Not bad in any way, any which way at all. Right, so I won't cut the others while I'm here, because if I do, I'll get mixed up. So let's get these ironed down. Now, you're absolutely right, all of you screaming it out. You shouldn't iron on top of your cutting mat, but I can't tell you how often I do. And they just basically sort of recover themselves, really. But for those who, to do things properly, I shouldn't really be cutting on top of my ironing mat. Okay, let's get this off here. Come on, let's do it properly. Let's not do it. Let's not show you bad things, because you can warp them. They don't warp that much, in my experience, having done it often. But I'll be a good girl. I'll be a good girl. Let's not get Mess and Tits TV a bad reputation before we even start. Right, so little one next. Little one next. And another blue. And that's okay. And although these two are off the same thing, the tonal value has changed. Not the tonal, it's the value has changed. So we've gone from a mid value to a very light value. So I think that works okay for a bit of contrast. I'm happy with that. Right, so again, where these edges butt together, get in there and get that held together and ironed down carefully so they don't creep apart. I mean, this felt is about as thin as anything anybody's going to be using, and even it would cause a little bit of creep, so don't let it. That's it. Very pretty. I'm sort of thinking now, as well, just because I do. I said at the beginning, what about then if I cut them in half and turn them round? How would that look? Good thinking, good thought, hey? Let's get them whacked down fast, then we can find out. Right, here we go. Oh, joy, joy, joy. The thing about a nice project like this as well, it's it just makes you want to get out of bed and get on, and you're actually then quite grateful that you haven't got to go and do anything else. Now, I know the fact of the matter is we can't go and do anything else, but then it feels like, oh good, I haven't got to, I can get on. And also, hi Janice. I was just thinking as well, I was going to say, if you haven't, if you can't, don't want to, haven't made your own fabric, you can do this with commercial fabrics. You can do it with any fabrics. It's just a very simple way of making nice things for your house and home. It's just a very simple construction method. I mean, it's particularly nice for me to have done it with my own made fabrics. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time, so this is a very nice opportunity for me. But it doesn't have to be. So for those of you that or you could mix in some of your own made fabrics with some commercials. That's possible too. So don't worry too much if you haven't made your own. And also, I work at the speed of light. I always have. It's just the way I am. So don't, if you're a slower worker and like to take a bit more time and spend a bit more time on things, do that. Don't feel you have to keep pace with me, because you don't. I'm just walloping through as I do, and you just do what you want when you want. Hello, darling. Are you here with us? Just come in for a break. I've set Daddy off on the upstairs window. He's on that job. Is he on that little job? He's on that job. And of course, these aren't fitting particularly neatly on my squares because we all saw how I cut my squares. But that doesn't matter because they're all going to get trimmed. They're all going to be trimmed. Okay, so that's number 2. That looks pretty, doesn't it? Very joyous, very, very joyous. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you could just make 4 of these and they'd make a nice little throw, or a big cushion cover, or a small back for a settee, or a, you know, a thing to sit on your table. I mean, I just like fabric, so I could just chuck these around just about anywhere. Love that flash of lime green. Oh, that's tight on there, isn't it? This must be one of my smaller chopped out squares. It's okay. Really lovely, and I love that contrast there where you've got the dark against the light. So nice, real value contrast there. I think, you know, you don't have to be a stitcher who is either a textile artist or a kind of craft homemaker. I just think you can be both. There's absolutely no reason why not. Same set of skills, really, in a lot of ways, or certainly huge crossover. It's like, I don't think you have to be either a contemporary embroiderer or a traditional. You can do both. They're different things, aren't they? They're different enjoyments. And you could make these, and if you love hand quilting, these are beautifully soft. You know, they're really nice and soft. The felt's soft, the fabric's soft, the heat bond's soft. You could sit and hand stitch these and really enjoy that. I mean, these would look beautiful hand stitched. Not going to happen in my world, but you certainly could. Good. Oh, I'm going to stitch these very simply. You know, these could be stitched very simply with just normal stitching in just a nice grid. There doesn't have to be anything posh going on. And we're going to stitch them in 12-inch blocks so that they're easy to stitch. We're not going to try and handle big volumes of fabric at once. We're going to do this nice and small. The only time we'll have to handle the big volume is right at the end when we put the whole thing together. But that's just fairly simple stitching at that point, so it'll all be fine. It'll all be fine. Don't let your machines frighten you. They're not scary things. They're not scary things at all. They're fine. Most machines are only frightening because you don't use them enough. The more you use them, the less frightening they get. I mean, I do remember being frightened of my machine. But there is no need, really. Okay. I'm wondering, I bet you at some point I will have done these blocks the wrong way around. I'll have done a medium-sized one in the middle. I'm sure I will do, because I just can't believe that I'll keep that discipline all the way through. Right, butting them up. It's the only bit that matters. I just want to make sure those edges are against each other so that I haven't got to deal with bits of white felt sticking out. I could deal with that. It'd be very simple. I could just very simply stick another piece of stuff over the top of it. Wow, Dorothy, how are you doing that? How have you slipped that one in? Has to be hospital. Something like that. Hospital, doctor. Could be the arrangements for your sister. You enjoy yourself, Dorothy. Right, 4 more. I'm going to do another 4. As I say, you don't have to stay now. I might do, because I might decide. I might look at chopping these in half. But then I can tell you that. You can always come back and watch the rest of the video later, can't you? I'm just going to take my shoes off. I'm getting hot. I'm just remembering it's so much nicer in bare feet. Oh, God. Yeah, you know, I am tempted with the idea of cutting that and turning these. And maybe cutting it off centre so that I turn these and that could make more patterns. But let's finish. Let's do some more of these first. Let's turn that off. So, next set. Some crackerdoodles. Well, they're all crackerdoodles. That's the trouble. I'm going to want to do them all because I think they're all gorgeous. Which set do I do next? You see, I'm loving those with that bit of lime in. Those 2. Oh, that gorgeous one. But then they're all gorgeous, aren't they? That's quite a set of neutrals there. Oh, well, that's not exactly. That's not really neutral, is it? And that's definitely not neutral. So, just checking for the Hermes man. So let's do this one next. Those are a bit smaller. See, it doesn't take very long, does it? I mean, I know I'm overrunning my... Anybody see what I did with the cutting mats? Oh, there. Overrunning my planned hour, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. Within this time, I'm going to have a whole quilt top cut out. Now, not a bed quilt, admittedly. A cot quilt size, though. It could be a cot quilt. For anybody with new babies in the offing. Could be a cot quilt. Let's get, which end do I like best? That, with that lovely lightness in it. I think. Hello, Trouble. I can hear you out there. I'll just woof at you, Mum. I'm just having a good time. He's having a good time. He's having a blast, aren't you, Milo? Well, blast. Right. So I think a ruler on. Oh, that top one. Oh my goodness me, it's another one. It's so tight. Right. In fact, it isn't quite 12.5. Still going to use it. It'll be all right. I'm going to trim. I do need to keep that straight. Yeah, this dark blue one is going to slightly mess up the blocks it's on because it's not actually quite big enough, but I should have. And this is, you know, this is the planning thing, isn't it? If I planned a bit more carefully, I could have made sure that all my materials were 12.5 inches wide, but that's because I hadn't planned what I was going to do with them. I'm quite happy to work with the idiosyncrasies of my own lack of planning way. It suits me. Right, okay. Oh, I cut those out efficiently, all right up to the end. I think it's because I stopped worrying too much about the offcuts. And then, now where do I want to cut this gorgeous thing? I think I'd like to keep a piece that keeps all those shades in. So I think we'll do the 7 inches like that. And then we had a 3, but I don't want, well actually if I cut the 3 there, that's quite good. That works okay, and then whatever's left. I'm not going to have enough felt squares, I might. I just realised. Going to need more felt. Right, those are there because I've done 8 and I only cut 9 squares. Right. Just bear with me. I'm just going to nip down to the shop and grab another pack of felt. Don't know that I've got any more up here. I'll have a look. I can't see any over there. I've got fabric, not felt. I'll be 10 seconds. I'll be 10 seconds. Chat amongst yourselves, girls. I really will not be very long. I can't just not make these now. I need to. No, that's not big enough. No. Right, down in the shop. Won't be a minute. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-hey. What's lovely out there? Right, here I am back again. Let's cut myself some more squares. So handy having a shop downstairs. It really is. Here I am again. It's all gone quiet. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Right, so let's just pop those there. Cut some more squares. If I let's go from this side. I had to cut the felt downstairs. That's why it went a bit quiet. There wasn't just the size I wanted, so I actually had to start cutting. Bit much, I know. Right. So just cut myself some more squares here. So that was 1/2 metre of felt, did me 9 squares. So really, I'm going to need a metre so that I can have more than that. And that means I'll have a lot more squares than I need for my throw, or I could make a bigger throw. You know, I could then go on to a, I'm just putting this on top as a guide. I could go on to a bigger throw then, couldn't I? If I wanted to, I could put 4 of these together and go back to a 4-foot throw. I don't know that I will. I think I'd probably rather just make this plus some other things. We'll see. We'll see. Right. More squares. Excellent. It was easy, wasn't it? That was easy peasy. Right. Put the cutting mat away like a good girl. And out the square. Here we go. Here we go. Right. Try and do it in order this time. So I'm going to plan them all. Oh, right. This is what I did first. Didn't do out with the square. I did the plan first, didn't I? Plan first. So, one of those, a thin there, and a fat. Oh, there. Okay, let's see how this one pans out. Love that combination very much. One of those. One of those. Now that's going to make the same 3 fabrics if I'm not careful here. Yeah. I've done the middle. That doesn't really help either, does it? That does. Oh, that's no. Those are far too similar, aren't they? I think I have to have that in there, that down there, and I'll deal with that in a minute. What could I put on there? Well, anything I put other than that one. That's okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, girls. Right, okay. That's the kind of shaggy edged one. So let's do that, that, and that. And then, hang on, I seem to have too many. That isn't the shaggy, it's not a shaggy edge one. That one shouldn't even be in the equation, okay? Okay, everybody, that shouldn't have been there. Ah! Oh no, that's okay. But it does put that opposite itself. You see, I've got two opposite themselves there, and I'm not liking that. So if I do that and that, but then I've got two blues together there. And it's hard to avoid that, isn't it? And I've got two blues together there. That sorts that one out. I haven't got two blues together there now. And if I do that, that's okay, isn't it? That works. That's a nice set. Is it? I've got it closed up. I've got it all closed up. It's safe. I'm not chopping myself. Honest, Jill. Honest. Normal times. It's 1 o'clock. Jill will tell you when I'm busy, we starve till 2 quite often. Right. Okay, let's stack those. It's only because I'm excited. If I wasn't excited, I'd turn the camera off and just say, right, okay, we'll carry on with this on Saturday and I'll do those in my own time. And I'll do them, but I want to see them. That's what drives me all the time, is the excitement. I desperately want to see it. And that's what I'm trying to share with you as well, because that's the kind of excitement that gets, when I was cutting the felt. Oh, because I didn't use a ruler. Because I didn't use a ruler, maybe? They're pretty good, actually. They're pretty good. Yeah, I suppose I could have done. I think I'm fairly safe with the cutter because I know my own tendencies, and I know that it would be very easy for me to be the person that did chop the hand off with a rotary cutter. Yeah, so I'm trying to enthuse you with that, because that's why I don't mind being locked down, because I just think it would irritate me if I had to go out this afternoon now, because I know exactly what I want to do this afternoon, and it's not go out. It's get on with this. And that's, I think, is the way we will get through this lockdown, is to have really super exciting things that are very rewarding to do, fairly simple, you know, nothing technical here. So a few places for us to botch up, like me, you know, get your things not quite straight and stuff, but really exciting, and I really am excited. I really want to get this finished. So that's a nice block. I like that one. Look at that with that bit of lime green in. I thought I'd removed all the lime green, but obviously not. Oh no, I think I moved the very bright ones, didn't I? And then I haven't even got round to the thoughts of whether we do the old splash of lime green in here. I could make these blocks quite a lot more complicated if I wanted to. Let's see. Let's get these done. I could keep these other big pieces for sashing. So when I've done this, I'll have done 12 blocks, and I need 9. So I could take 3 from each section, couldn't I? And that would kind of make a nice balance and leave me 3 and leave me some bigger pieces of fabric for something else. You see, this is the trouble. I want to know what those ones look like too. But anyway, I won't. Or if I do, I'll do it later. First of all, though, we'll get these done and we'll see what we've got. And I do want to try cutting one of them to see what that looks like too. Because I think that might look exciting as well. Right. Loving these. Love the fabrics. I really enjoy. I've enjoyed every process. I've tried to develop, apart from admin, textile work I do, both this and artwork, so that I'm only ever doing things I enjoy. I really can't see any point otherwise. And I like to enjoy as many processes as I can, and I like to enjoy it all the way through, and I like to leave the final decision for as long as I can so that I don't get stressed about whether it's working. I'm going to turn that, can you see there? Just a little design decision. I've got a dark piece there and I've got the darker end of this here. Well, actually there's a dark bit there, but I just think I would prefer that flipped. And I do, with that really light, bright value against this. It's not dark, it's a mid, but I just like it like that. And that lovely neutral one down there. Okay, I'll get these, nearly there, nearly there. Will you use some of the fabric for binding? I might do, yes, I'm going to need to bind it, so I am going to need to do that, so I will need some fabric for binding, so I might leave those last ones. And then, you see, the other joyous thing is, I made this first time, I know what colours I used, I can just make some more. So if I decided, oh, I would like some 4-foot pieces to do the edges, I'll just make some more pieces, do a bit more stenciling, a bit more over dyeing. Very good, Tammy, that's good, you see. Good to catch you on lunch breaks. Loving that. I'm loving them all. I'm loving them all. You know, when you're making them sometimes and, you know, you get them out and you look at them and you think, oh, I don't know if I love those. But actually, as soon as you start putting fabrics together, the joy of patch, as soon as you start putting fabrics together, it's just so exciting. So, love this one. I love them all. I love that geometric against these flowers. I think that looks really interesting. And then this was another geometric with some swirls on. I love the variety of patterns. That's making me very happy. I know, but no, I'm just doing this myself now. I'm just doing this myself. We're not really still on. We're not really still on, are we, girls? This isn't us really still being on now. This is just me finishing off, Stephen. It's nothing to do with still streaming. Honest. Honest. It's nice. Oh, it's amazing how hot you get when the iron's on. I suppose it's like a little radiator, isn't it? And it is very close to my face there. All I've got underneath here, by the way, I always iron on the table and I don't even think about it anymore. I haven't got an ironing cloth or anything. I've just got the same flip chart pad that I was using for painting on. So it works fine. Let's do that. Hi, Milo, are you back again? Yep. Checking the door. Just checking all the boundaries. That's it. That's that door checked. Round here. Go and check this door. Check the windows. Back upstairs. Now, I've made a mistake there. Because I was concentrating on Milo. I said I need to keep pushing these seams together so that they stick. And I didn't there. I did that outside piece first and I've got a split there. So one of the nice forgiving things about heat and bond is when you've done that, if you reheat it, you can lift it back up again and start again. Let's turn that round and get these done properly. So I want that there. Surprising how easy it is to botch it up when you're not concentrating. Only a small lapse of talking it to your special police constable, no, community police dog, and you can suddenly have just done it wrong. But that's okay, that's back, that's saved, we're okay with that. That's a lovely block too, isn't it? Really like that, it's very gentle. That's just so lovely, that. Right, last one. Last one. Wow. Oh. Let's pop this down. Who am I getting there? Oh, tell me I've read that bit. Okay, so on we go with that one, and on I go with this one, and this one. So I think I said I'd done about 2 meters of fabric, and I think I did do about 2 meters of fabric. So, and that would make sense about the amount of felt that I need to do it all. that's a good amount for making me. It's going to make me this throw, and it's going to leave me quite a bit left to do other little projects with, which are going to be gorgeous. It is, isn't it? It's very, I agree with you, Alison, it is. And I think that's because that's a theme that I'm kind of is on my mind at the moment. So I think that kind of, and these particularly, I think are just, these dahlia flowers are a real 60s sort of a motif. They look very 60s. And the colours are loving those. Right, okay, so we've got 4 of those. Turn the iron off for a minute. Give myself a bit of cooling down. So we now have, let's get rid of some of this release paper. Not much use to me at this size. It will go into recycling. Okay. Superb Mrs. Bin as ever. Oh, nice. I like the sound of pasties very much. Right, so we've now got, I can't possibly get all these out for you to see, but I now have 12 of these. Which will, ooh, let's just get that down there. That's not flat. There's probably just enough heat left in my iron to flop that. I just haven't hit it hard enough. That's better. Which is probably, it's enough. I could make a 4x3 quilt here. There's another one I haven't hit very well. I can feel them under my fingers. It's just where I haven't actually ironed across efficiently. Let's turn the iron back on. Oops, that was a bit silly, wasn't it? Nearly ran a bit of a risk there, scorching my cloth. That doesn't want to stick there for some reason. Ah, it's got no heating bond. That might be why. Let's just, that must be, there was one where I had a bit of a kerfuffle with the heating bond. Let's just hit that. Sometimes it's because, is this the one? This is the one, isn't it, that I reheated and put back down. Sometimes it doesn't want to stay back down. So I'm just going to, it's very hot, and put that under there and just hold it to get it to back down. Ah! Defrost the upright freezer. Amazing. Amazing what you can do while you're watching. Who's Silly Billy, Maggie? Thought you said, who's Silly Willy? I was going to say, I don't know. Who is Silly Willy? Oh, fantastic. Oh, you're welcome, Leslie. You're very welcome. Right, okay. So, the decision I need to make now. I've got 12 of these. I could make a 4x3. Couldn't I? Very easily. I could have 4 one way and 3 the other, which would be a 4 foot by 3 foot throw. Or I could do a 3x3 and have some spares. I don't know yet, but what I do know I want to do is to try, I know I want to try cutting one. So I'm going to try that. They would look gorgeous like this, and we've established that we would get this lovely secondary sort of windmill pattern going, but I just think, and they would look gorgeous, but me being me, green spots are there. Oh, right, okay, got you, Wendy. I just think it could be quite interesting to cut these and turn them. Now, I am wondering, would it be easier for me to just stitch these first and then cut and turn? Which I could stitch all of this. I could put my patterns down there and overall quilt this, and then think about, would I like to cut them? That means waiting, which is a tricky one for me. It means holding back on doing something, but it would be quicker, because if I cut this now, well, no, because if I cut it in the middle and turn it, but then that would be really even. That's not what I'd want to do. I'd want to cut it off pieced. But still, there'd only be one extra seam, wouldn't there? I think so. Let's cut it now. Let's cut it now on the basis of it's what I want to do. That seems as good a reason as any. So let's have a slurp of tea. Anybody know what I did with a ruler? Can you put it up there? Such a big thing. It's there. It's buried under these. Right. So See, what I'm thinking is, what if I cut this? So we know this is going to end up 12 by 12, 12 and a half at the moment. So if I cut it, this is at 7, isn't it? If I cut it at 7, I'll end up with a square there and a slightly different sized one there. I think I'd rather make it a little bit more uneven. What if I cut it at 8 there? That's going to make it a sort of 2 to 1. And there you are. I like the 2 to 1. Hi, Elizabeth. I think 2 to 1. Go for it. Now, I'm doing this on one block so I can see if I'm not going to like it. I'm going to have to clean that edge. But I think I am. I think I'm going to like that. So I'm going to need to join that block together. But I think that makes it very interesting. What it does mean, as I say, is I need to trim this straight. So, not necessarily the final trim this block will get, but that needs a straight edge. So I can do a half there. That's 8.5. And I can't do a half there, so we'll go to 3/8. That works. So each one I'm going to cut and turn like that. Now again, I now have options because I don't have to put the same edge on the same thing, do I? I could cut all of them like this, and then do I want a block like that where the colours are there, or do I let's cut another one and see what it's like if we move the colours around. Let's cut one from a block that's from a completely different set. That's very similar colours. I suppose they're all similar colours, really. That's very similar colours too. They're all very similar colours. That's because that's how I made the piece, isn't it? Let's get that one. That's got blue on the outside. Let's try cutting that one. So we know we need to cut 8 inches. Now, did I do 8 inches? I presume I did 8 inches on the fabric. I did. Okay, so 8 inches on the fabric. Highly unlikely that any of this is going to actually stay even, but give it a bash. 8 inches. That needs straightening, and I straightened that at 4 3/8. 4 and 1 2 3/8. And 1 2 3/8. Yep, that works. See, you can just make it up as you go along. It's fine. So I could put oh, that's so pretty. I mean, these would make fabulous cushions, wouldn't they? These would make beautiful cushions. I can do it like that and turn each one with its own piece, or I can start messing around and put different pieces with different ones. Decisions, hey? Decisions. I think, the nice thing about using its own piece is you get that contrast there. Now you might do, if I cut enough other ones, I might still do that. Let's cut, because that's a blue, beige blue and a beige green blue. Let's cut a blue, beige blue again and see what happens with that. Maybe it needs, you see, I can't work it out in advance. I've got to work it out on the hoof. Maybe it needs, let's cut 8 inches here. Four and 3/8 here, or 4 1/4, 4 3/8, and a quarter 3/8. Oh, there's quite a lot left on that. Is that right? 4 3/8. There's 4 1/2. I could, no, 4 3/8. Okay. 4 4 3/8. These rulers, they're good rulers, but I don't find them very easy to see where the numbers are, this square one. I mean, it's a great size, 12.5 inches, but I must admit, I can find the numbering on it a bit confusing at times. That's lovely, isn't it? I could cut again and turn again, but I'm just liking the asymmetry of that very much. But I could now, if I use this one, which has the same succession of fabrics, I think I can put that there and still, that's nice. Still keep that, don't know, it keeps that so that it keeps this piece here going against a different colour, but I actually think I like them. I don't want to like them this way because it's less interesting, but I think I like them done with their own piece. It's not going to make, it makes it harder to, it means then that the quilt will have, these blocks will then be joined. And I'll have to decide how to do those. Now, it would be easier in some ways if I'd mixed, you know, these up, because then you'd get flashes of colour over it, which I am aware of. I could, of course, put that way up. There's another option. I could chop the edges off and just put it back together as strips, but with different colour. That's nice too. Trouble is, I like them all. I like them all. That looks lovely. That's really interesting too. That's nice. Those are lovely. If I do it like that, then I keep that kind of windmill bit going, but I don't get that turn round. Keep them together, you reckon, me? I think either I keep them together or I do it like this, where I turn it, where I keep the patterns running the same way, but then change the fabrics. Makes smaller little bits. Let's just have another look at that. Bloody hell. The answer is, I don't know what I think. I do not know what I think at this moment in time. I mean, the good news is I like them all. I think I like them like this. I think I like them. Bye, Dorothy. You're welcome. Enjoy your afternoon. Oh, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. So it's like that. Or it's like that. Oh, God, I like both. I like both. If I do them like this, I end up with the colours spread more around the quilt. I can see that because I'm splitting these areas of the green and things around. Yeah, a photo. I think the answer is I like both. I want to make both. That's the problem I've got. Yeah, a photo of lower. I could do a photo and do it on the floor. I might do that. I might cut them all. I'd then have to clear some space on the floor so I could lay it all out. Instinctively, I'm feeling that moving these green flashes around would help. That it would look more interesting. It'll help to balance the quilt. But I really like that reverse. I always like a reverse. It's like a positive negative. It isn't like a positive negative, but I like that patterning. Now I could do that and then maybe put strips of green in, and maybe, I don't know that I need to do that now. No, I'll keep away from that. That's just confusing things a bit. I might use that for a plique. Maybe I like that pattern best. So maybe I go with the pattern I like best. Can't deny Felix is lunchtime. I'm going to go away and think about this. I'm going to chop them all so I can see them. and have a think about, my instinct is like this, that I'm going to turn each one, and then I am going to stitch them. And I will show you stitching on Saturday. I'll get some of them done in advance, I hope, but I'll show you how I'm going to stitch these together, because I'm going to stitch these together, and then I'm going to quilt them, and then I'm going to stitch all the blocks together. So that's what we're going to do on Saturday. So hopefully, if you want to work along with me, by Saturday, you need to have got your blocks stuck down or pieced, however you want them to be. Remember that you can change things, move things around. Thank God for that. Thank you, Pam. I needed somebody to give me an agreement there. I'm just going to move that. Just felt that bit of fabric was wrinkling. You can piece or you can stick. You can adjust things as you go. Enjoy yourself with it. It's really good fun. You know, one of the joys of sticking it down is it's all held. You can chop it, you can move it. It stays very, very, very stable. So I think this is going to be really good fun. I can't wait till Saturday to get on with it, actually. But we've only got a few more days, so get yourselves off. Get your fabrics either pieced or back them with some heat and bond or Bonder Web or heat steamer seam or whatever you've got, and try out. You know, you can make it as complicated or as easy as you want. For me, I keep it fairly simple, and then on Saturday we'll get stitching these together. You're welcome. You're welcome. Some of you I'll see on Friday for your stream. The rest of you, hopefully, I will see on Saturday, and we'll carry on with this. All right, my lovelies, take care, all of you. Stay safe, look after yourselves. And if you can, get out into your gardens or out for a walk and enjoy some of this lovely weather, because it is beautiful. All right, take care, everybody. Bye now. Bye. Bye now.